Can you
good.
hear me? Yeah, we're good now?
Hi, Stacey. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm so excited to be talking with you today.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing that because I'm looking at the background behind me. Actually,
Yeah.
not Valerie's. Wow, you got some stuff. Look at that.
Yeah, these are actually all autographed posters.
Wow. Well, I sent you something the other day. I don't know if it's there yet, but it'll probably be there in the next couple of days.
I have a notification from USPS and FedEx, so I have two different packages coming. So it could be one of those. I'm not sure yet, but we shall see because they come tomorrow.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm excited to get talking with you about Valerie's documentary and to learn more about how you got involved with the project.
Yeah. Just tell me when you're ready to go, or you just let me know.
I'm all ready when you are.
All right. Well.
How did you get involved with doing a documentary on Valerie?
Well, let me go back a little bit because Valerie and I, we met in 2006. We met walking dogs because we live in the same neighborhood, and we just became friends from that. There's a longer, funny story to it, but I'll cut to the chase. Yeah, so she and I are really close. She's like my mother. So we're just really, really, really good friends. And I kept saying over the years, somebody should do a documentary about Valerie, and it just wasn't happening. And Valerie has Parkinson's disease. And at this point, they weren't really sure what she had. But she had essential tremors, is the same thing that's what Katharine Hepburn had. So she had a shake. So she had this brain surgery called deep brain stimulation, or DBS. Okay. And so when she was going to go into the hospital and have this surgery, you know, I was in my mind, I'm like, well, this is a one-time thing. Like, this needs to be shot. So I'd been thrown into a project before that because I was an actor. I mean, that was why I came to Hollywood, was to act. And I got thrown into something and I learned how to shoot. And I had an eye for it. So I borrowed a camera. I went to the hospital with her. I was kind of sneaking around, like doing, with the camera down low, like in the pre-op and all this stuff. So that's how it kind of started, just I wanted to, to share her story. And, that was just kind of how it started.
And before you started shooting her documentary, how long were you in the film industry for?
Well, I moved to LA for acting in 1999. So I'd been, like I said, I came to act. So I'd say, like right around 99, 2000, I'd been here for that. And again, I fell into shooting. Like, that was because of David Arquette and Christina Arquette. They're friends of mine, and this idea came up, and David was like, "Oh, Stacey can shoot it, not a problem." And I was like, "I've never picked a camera up. I don't know anything about shooting." And he said, "It's easy. You can use my camera." So I just had a knack for it, and it was a blessing in disguise because that kind of geared me up for, when she was going to have this surgery. So that's kind of how it all sort of serendipitous. I don't think I said that right. But yeah, that's how it all kind of came, that started the journey of shooting the documentary.
And you mentioned David Arquette. He's the guy from Scream, right?
Yeah, they're actually about to start shooting Scream 5.
I cannot wait for that. I just started watching these movies for the first time like 3 weeks ago, and I can't stop watching them.
Oh yeah. They're starting to shoot, I believe in October. So, and it's Courtney Cox is back, and Nev Campbell's back. So, it's some of the original people, and yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and David has there's another documentary that it's about David's return to professional wrestling. So he was the heavyweight champion of the world in 2000 because he was promoting this movie, and they made him the world champion. And like the wrestling community and the fans hated him, and they said he destroyed wrestling. And so 18 years later, he decided he wanted to redeem himself and earn the respect of the fans and the wrestling community. So he really learned to wrestle and everything, and he almost died in a death match. And yeah, it's a really interesting thing. I'm a producer on that, and I pop up in it. It's out now, so if anybody's interested in seeing like a really cool documentary, about David Arquette, you don't have to be a wrestling fan or a David Arquette fan. It's more the story of redemption. So it's really good.
I'm definitely planning on checking it out. I've seen all the previews and the posts that David posts on social media, so I'm definitely gonna have to check it out at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
I even tried reaching out to him to try to set up an interview with him as well, but I haven't gotten anything back. But maybe for Scream when it comes out.
Yeah, let me know. David's a friend of mine.
Awesome. So yeah, he's a really great actor, and I actually first seen him in Shark Boy and Lava Girl a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time I ever seen him in a movie, and then I've seen all his other stuff after that.
Yeah, no, David's great. Like Never Been Kissed, all the Scream things. I mean, he's been in so many. He's just been in so many different kind of movies. It's good. He's a good guy.
He's really good. And for Valerie's documentary, how long did the process take to make it?
I started shooting, like I said, when she was about to have brain surgery. So that was the end of January 2014. And I would say I was done, I finally finished shooting. The movie was totally done with everything, like last year, like the end of last year. So it took a long time, but again, I wasn't in a rush, and I have a lot of really great interviews in it, so that also nailing people down, because especially actors and people like that, it can be it can take time, because people would say, oh, I'll do it, yeah, but I'm leaving the country to shoot for 2 months. Can you contact me when I get back? But no, I think, it worked out the way it was supposed to. And I got some really great interviews, like Jeff Bridges, Angie Dickinson, George Hamilton, Lonnie Anderson, Stacy Keach, David Arquette. I got like a ton of really great people. And a few people that I got passed away. Alex Rocco, who was in The Godfather. He was Mo Green. Like if you see Alex, you'll know who he is. Dick Van Patten. I had Dick in there, and there's some archival footage of Dick in it too. So it's cool. It's cool. I got to. Everybody was really, when they found out what it was, everybody was really helpful, and they wanted to do it for Valerie. So.
And that's great that you're working on this for her, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it when it comes out. Do you have a release date for the documentary yet?
Yeah, right now we're working. We're kind of finalizing some stuff for the distribution company.
Okay.
So I mean, the hope would be for it to come out beginning of next year.
Okay.
Because also, I want Valerie to be able to enjoy anything that comes from it, I did it again. It's a love letter to her. And it's also to share her story and her courage battling Parkinson's, but also it also is a film, I think, of hope. Anybody that's struggling with anything, I think they can watch it, and it can give them that idea of you're not alone. Anything can happen to anybody, because usually with a celebrity of whatever, movies, sports, anything like that, sometimes all of a sudden you just don't hear about them for a long time, and then you kind of don't think about them, and then you find out they pass away or something, they've been battling something. Yeah. But Valerie was really brave. She's, I shot whatever I wanted with her. You know, like the first part of the documentary is it's this amazing life she's had that people won't know anything about. I mean,
Right.
she was raised in Japan after World War II. There's a whole thing about that that's really cool. She was a Vegas showgirl for like 8 or 9 years. She was a big deal there. And there's some stuff in there that people are going to go, what? What? That's crazy. I mean, stuff that happened. I don't want to give it away. And
No
then the
spoilers.
whole, yeah, no spoilers. And then the like the movie star thing, like that happened. That was by accident. Literally, she was kind of tired of Vegas, and and somebody was like, "You should go to Hollywood. You're really pretty. You could probably get into commercials and make some money." So she came to Hollywood, and her friend was having like a really small dinner party for just a few people, and she was on the phone with a boyfriend. She was really funny and snappy and quick-witted and just on it. And there happened to be an agent there, and he's like, "Who's that girl?" And they're like, "Oh, that's Valerie." And he went up to her after she was off the phone and said, um, "You're Montana Wild Hack," which is Slaughterhouse-Five. If anybody doesn't know what that is, because they were looking for a girl for Slaughterhouse-Five, which was George Roy Hill's next film, and they were having trouble finding somebody. But beside the point, he goes, "Do you have a headshot?" And she said, "No. All I have are these topless photos from Vegas," because she'd been a topless dancer in the Lido. So he took that, gave it to the head of casting at Universal Studios, and um, she had a toothache, and she took all these pictures with her to the dentist, and she's going through them. And some guy, she got to Valerie's picture, and some guy in the waiting room next to her was like, "Who the hell is that?" And she was like, "Exactly." And that's how she got an audition. And I mean, after, there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but she literally, it's she was supposed to go to the audition in a bathing suit. She didn't have a bathing suit because she'd been in the south of France for like 6 months. So she went in Vegas gear, which had the boobies cut out.
Yeah.
And like all the girls were either, and they were in bathing suits, but they were either shy or they were like trying to like parade around or whatever. And she was
Really
just natural.
outgoing.
Yeah, she was just natural. It didn't matter if she was topless. Like it didn't, she didn't, it didn't mean one way or another to her. And that's how she got the thing. She was just a natural. So that started her career as Valerie Perrine. Oh, and another little tidbit that's pretty cool. She is the first topless woman on American television.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, there's a play called Steam Bath by Bruce J. Friedman, and they they did it, and they filmed it, and it was on PBS, and Bill Bixby was in it. If you remember, like the Incredible Hulk from the '70s,
Yep.
Bill
Yep.
Bixby,
I
and
know who he is.
yeah, Bill Bixby, he was the best. He was on all these great shows back then. But so there's a scene because it takes place in a steam bath. It's a whole thing, but there's a part where she's in a shower for a minute and she turns just enough to the side where you see her breast, and so now nobody can ever take that away from her. She's the first topless woman on American television.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I usually know the stuff that's going on right now on like American Horror Story or radio or TV shows, so that must have been quite a bit of history back then.
Oh yeah. Apparently, whenever PBS, they used to have, they may still do it, I don't know, but they would have like these pledge drives, so you would donate money because it's a publicly funded station or whatever.
Okay.
Uh, they would always show that because they knew a lot of people would watch it, and it would help get a lot of pledges because you got to see Valerie, topless.
And
So
that was just the start of her career, and she's mostly I know her best from the Superman movies, and that's how I became a huge fan of hers from there.
oh yeah, yeah, Superman, like she even says, like, one of her friends said, this is years and years ago, one of her friends said, you're not going to be remembered for Lenny. You know, Lenny was the movie she did with Bob Fosse and Dustin Hoffman. She was nominated for everything. She was nominated for an Oscar, which she should have won. She won Cannes. She won the BAFTA. Like, she won everything, basically. But they're like, you're not going to be remembered for that. You're going to be remembered as Miss Tessmacher.
Yeah, that's how I remember her, because I grew up with all the superheroes, and I'm pretty familiar with just about everyone involved in all these movies and TV shows. And
Yeah.
I'll remember Christopher Reeves as being the original Superman on the screen for me. I haven't seen any of the other stuff going back further, but when I watch all these movies and see the original actors involved, it's just mind blowing to see what the technology and the acting was like back then compared to today.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing. You know, I just, you know, how I mean, they really made a man fly. That was the tagline. You'll believe a man can fly. You know, it's interesting. Like, they shot the movies back to back, 1 and 2. They shot at the same time and
Oh, I
all
didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah, because they just had all the sets and everything, and just the whole thing. Because you know, we have all of Valerie's scripts, and the Superman scripts are weird because they're long. They're like it's like, you know, like horizontally. It's like a lot longer than a regular script. It's really weird. But also, well, I interview Richard Donner. He's in my documentary. Sarah Douglas, who played Ursa, you know, the bad villain, out of the three. Like, she pops up. She's a really good friend of ours. But yeah, the Superman stuff was just, you know, it was great. You know, and she, you know, she has fond memories of working with Christopher Reeve. You know, because they had their stuff. You know, why can't I get it? Why can't I get it on with the good guys and all that?
Yeah, I remember that very scene more often than the rest of them. And watching her with Reeves, it just it's just phenomenal. And now that I know today that, of course, unfortunately, he passed away a long time ago because of his accident.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking back at history, you always think of him as a really great Superman.
Oh yeah, no, he was great. I mean, he's, you know, not that there haven't been other guys that have done a good job. And Henry Cavill's, you know, he's actually back now. I read that he's going to be back as Superman.
Yes, I've been waiting on that for a very long time.
I think, you know, he's good. You know, he makes it his own thing. I mean, because nobody's going to do what Christopher Reeve did. You know, he's just, you know, he did it and he was very special, and you know, he took it very seriously and everything. But yeah, those movies I think are just uh, it was a magic. It's just magic. Like, I think everything came together, and Richard Donner's vision. You know, he made these epic movies. You know, it had, you know, weren't making films quite like that anymore back then, and he just, you know, all the elements came together. And you know, that first movie is just so, you know, everybody loves that film. You know, and it holds up. It's
First
a
one's
movie.
definitely the best.
Yeah, and it holds up. You can watch it, you can show it to a kid now, and they would still like it. You know,
Yep.
it holds up. It's not like some films you watch later on. You're like, that looks a little like it all still looks. You know, it looks good. It still holds up.
Yeah. And I did like now that I know this today, I know that Brandon Routh from the 2006 film tried to take on Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah,
But the film was kind of interesting because it was my first Superman movie as a kid. That's what I grew up with, and then Henry Cavill happened, and then I watched the classics and all the TV show
yeah.
versions. It's just amazing how many different versions of Superman there are, and it's very hard to pick a favorite.
Oh yeah, no, there's so many. There's a lot. I mean, again, like it's interesting because they try, you know, they try to keep it fresh. You know, there was Smallville for so long, which was, you know, that was its whole kind of its own universe of Superman. And you know, you have a Lois and Clark.
Yes, I'm very excited about that one.
You've got all those things, which, you know, it's interesting. And you know, I can only imagine what it's like for, you know, an actor to all of a sudden, get the part, and now they've got to fill those boots, and
Yeah.
but I think it's great. It's like with Supergirl,
Hmm.
um uh oh goodness, what is his name, the new Lex Luthor, John, uh
I'm sorry. What would you say?
the new Lex Luthor on Supergirl,
Oh, John Cryer.
yeah, John Cryer. Like, I would have never thought, like, when I heard that, I was like, really? I don't think so. But when you saw it, he's amazing. He's great. Like, I think he is the best Lex Luthor next to Gene Hackman.
I agree. And uh, compared to his version compared to Michael Rosenbaum in Smallville, and then John Shea and Lois and Clark in the 90s. These are all many different versions of the character. But when I think of John Cryer, I thought of him being a comedian because of Two and a Half Men,
Oh yeah.
and I wasn't sure at first how he would take on the role. But then I see him on Supergirl, and I'm just blown away.
Oh yeah. No, he made it his own thing, but he brought the the evil to it. Like, he brought the bad guy thing, and just, he's so good. And what's funny is, you may know this, but he was in Superman 4. He was
Yep.
Lex Luthor's nephew, Lenny Luthor. So he's returned to the DC universe. Oh, and do you know about um oh goodness. Oh, this is so bad because she's my friend. The new Miss it's Miss Tessmacher on Supergirl.
Yeah,
Not
I forgot her name,
Andrea
but
Brooks. Andrea Brooks.
Andrea Brooks.
Yeah, she is a friend of ours. She's in my documentary. She is amazing. She's a wonderful person, a great actor. She's made that role her own thing. Brought it. She's breathed a new life into it.
Mm-hmm.
She's still true to the character. And what I'll tell you a little story really quickly. I was doing a crowdfunding for the documentary. I was doing a Kickstarter.
Yep.
And it had ended, and then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks or so, like, after it had ended, um, I got like messages from Andrea Brooks. I got something through Kickstarter. Then she found me on social media and wrote me these long messages, and it's like, hey, I just stumbled across this. Uh, this may sound weird. I'm the new Miss Teschmacher. I just discovered Valerie. I'd like to talk to you. I think what you're doing is great. It was this really long, great thing. And she and I had a phone call. She's just the sweetest, most talented young lady. She's great, and we became really good friends. She's been here. She visited LA for she's doing press for something, I believe. And so she came over. She met Valerie in person. They got along great. Valerie thinks she's doing a great job. She literally passed the torch on to her with she had Valerie's blessing. And yeah, Andrea is great. If any of your people, your fans watching, don't know her, they need to watch everything she's in, because she's just so wonderful. And um, she's just a really, really great person.
She's really phenomenal in Supergirl, and I praise everyone involved in the DC TV shows and adding different versions of these classic characters and just watching them on the screen is like everything I had been through growing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just crazy how all this keeps happening because it's a really big universe for comic books, and they never stop coming up with any ideas to bring to the screens.
Oh yeah. No, for all the comic book fans, and the people, and because superheroes are so special to so many people. You identify with them, for whatever reasons. But I think that the last, I don't know, I'd probably say starting with Iron Man,
Yeah.
um, like that brought it all. Like this is the time to be a fan person of comics and superheroes and everything, because they just do everything so well now. I mean, the Spider-Man stuff was good. Don't get me wrong. Like that was starting it, but then it just blew up with all of those great all those great Marvel films. I mean, geez, they're just so good. And well, the X-Men too. The first X-Men stuff was really good, but I just feel like it's, everything is like superhero oriented now, and it's, they really do a good job, and I'm looking forward to seeing that Zack Snyder cut of Justice
Yeah.
League.
I'm so excited for that one. I've waited a long time to see if it's ever going to come out, and here it's going to come out in 4 parts. Gets me way more excited than it did the other version of the movie.
Yeah. I saw that, and I was kind of I was disappointed because I felt like it wasn't up to par with what the Marvel movies were doing,
Yeah.
Avengers and all that stuff, but then you hear some of the backstory, and this cut's just gonna it's supposed to be amazing. So it'll be interesting to see that, and just to see what his vision was, really see how it come to the screen. So
I enjoy the film when it's on TV, but it's not one I would watch all the time.
yeah.
It just wasn't what I was expecting when I saw it. Like the Suicide Squad movie, I didn't enjoy that one as much.
Oh yeah.
But I know that Snyder Cut is gonna probably be like 10 times better.
Yeah. I think the Suicide Squad, I think they had some of the same issues. I think it got cut into a version that maybe James Gunn wasn't it wasn't his original vision or something.
Yeah.
Because it looked great, it looked so good, and then you saw it and you're kind of like,
Yeah, I got kind of bored after a while.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Oh, I'm so bad with names. What's her name is Harley Quinn. I mean,
Margot Robbie.
oh yeah, like she killed it. I mean, she brought that character to life, and it was,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, that was she blew everybody else out of the water just because what a great character.
Yeah. I think she was the best in that movie, but the Joker, the Jared Leto Joker, was really bad. But
Yeah.
I prefer Heath Ledger. He was still alive to come back.
Oh, yeah. He's again the best Joker ever. Like when you get into any of those worlds, when somebody's they made it so amazing, it's hard to, you have to kind of put your own spin on it, and it can
Yeah.
either go really well or it can go not so good. But also I think that they said they had so much footage of him, and they just didn't use much, but who knows. But now he's going to be Morbius the vampire. Have you seen the
Yes,
trailer for that?
that was supposed to come out this year. Then COVID happened and everything got pushed to next year. So
Yeah.
I'm not exactly happy that all these amazing movies were supposed to come out this year got pushed, because like
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a really great year for films, like for Ghostbusters and
Oh,
the
that's
New
right.
Mutants. But everything happened and just
Yeah.
everything just got pushed.
Yeah. No, it's just tough because films, they need to be seen in theaters, especially
Yeah.
those movies. You want to see it in like with the great sound. That's the experience. You want to experience everything because they put so much time and they just put so much into making those things, and they're really meant to be seen in a theater. But
And I agree. I prefer the movie theater experiences, like opening weekend, Thursday night showings,
oh yeah,
IMAX, and everything.
yeah. Have
I
you
was
gone?
working at a movie theater before this happened, but unfortunately, I'm not working there anymore because of COVID. And I always had the greatest experiences just by working there.
Oh yeah, it's magical. I mean, I love going to the movies. I mean, that was my whole thing when I was a kid. TV and movies, but going to the movies was it was just something magical about it. It's that you the whole thing, you know, you buy your ticket that, you know, it's going to take you to some magical place. You get some snacks, you go in this room, and then the, you know, it starts to, the lights go down and the screen lights up, and you're, you know, it's just so amazing.
And I know you mentioned earlier about how these comic book characters have been around for so long that they start to impact the lives of people around them. I don't know if you saw in my email or if Valerie told you, but I am on the autism spectrum. And growing up was not easy for me. So I had all these superheroes and movies and TV shows to make my day easier and inspire me pretty much every day.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think that's part of the allure of superheroes, because like Superman, there's a perfect example. Anybody that's, you know, he's an alien, you know, he comes to this foreign planet, you know, he doesn't fit in, and all that, you know, and people, you know, so many people understand what that is, you know, they've lived, you know, like you said, in school. Nobody wants to be bullied and to be different, but you know, it's not bad to be different, but
No,
it's
not.
bad to be, you know, kids are mean, you know, and it's not cool. So it is nice to at least have that one thing, that piece of hope, that thing that inspires you. I mean, and I think, you know, again, like superheroes, I think you know, they inspire so many people. When you're a little kid, Halloween, what do you want to dress up as? You want to be a superhero. I mean, everything that, I mean, Wonder Woman's always been, you know, huge, but now it's like, now there are all these young kids, you know, these young girls who are like all about, it's given them such a positive role model in the society where we are today. So no, I'm a huge believer in anything that gives you hope.
Me too. I don't view my disabilities as the disabilities. I view them as a superpower. That's what gets me going on an everyday basis, despite being bullied growing up and being bullied online just for being a little different. I don't let it get to me, even though the worst of it can. I just think about what would these superheroes do to make things better.
Yeah, no, of course, it's all about hope. I mean, look at Lou Ferrigno. You know, Lou Ferrigno was the original Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, he's deaf. You know, he can hear some, but like he was really, really deaf. You know, and growing up, you know, he was bullied and stuff, and then he started working out, and he, you know, he put all of that into, you know, into working out, and he focused, and he won all these amazing bodybuilding competitions, you know, and then he became the Incredible Hulk, which was, you know, nobody else could have done that character the way he did it. And he just had the physique, and he's just so good. And he's another one of those people, I feel, because he does have he does have a disability, but he's just so inspirational. And, you know, you see everything that the guy has done with his life. And because when I was a kid, like that, he was an inspiration to me, you know, just the Incredible Hulk. That was like the show I watched. Like, I remember the first time I saw it, like the first episode, it was just, you know, I was like 5 years old. So it was like magical, and, you know, love that stuff. But yeah, I think it's great. I think we all need something to inspire us and to give us hope.
And with Lou, we actually have the same connection with the hearing losses. We actually get our hearing aid at the Starkey Hearing Foundation, and the headquarters is literally around the corner from me.
Oh, wow.
And I know he goes to the gala and gets involved with Starkey every year. I haven't met him yet, but I think I have seen him from a distance somewhere. But
oh, that's cool.
We have that great connection through this foundation when we go where we get our hearing aids.
Have you reached out to him on Instagram or anything?
I think I did once, but I haven't heard from anyone who works with him.
You should reach out to him on Instagram. I follow him just because, you know, it's Lou Ferrigno. But I feel like he might be kind of I mean, I don't know, but he might be someone kind of easy to get in touch with. You should try again.
I'll definitely consider that. I'll try with David Arquette again at some point.
I stay in touch with me. I can always talk to David for you.
Oh, what?
Yeah, no, I mean, David's a friend of mine. Like,
yeah,
I mean, we're like.
Mentioned that. Well, that would be a great honor.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do for sure. Like, that's not like that one's doable. I know he's about to film this thing, but yeah, I can talk to him and set something up for you.
Fantastic.
Now,
I have a couple more questions for you. I was just wondering, if you were to make any other documentaries, what would they be about?
Let's see. What would they be about? I mean, I've got some things that I want to do. One of my friends was the first burlesque dancer in Singapore, but it's illegal there. So I mean, she has this amazing story. Like, she actually they kicked her out of the country, and then she ended up like earning their respect and getting back in. Like, she's had tea with the Queen of England, like all this stuff. Like, she's a very powerful role model for women. Her name's Suki Singapura. So like, that's somebody,
I feel like I've heard her name before.
Yeah, you should follow her on Instagram. She's a really good friend of mine. She's great. She has a lot of again, she's somebody that's very inspiring, and just she has a great story, and she's just, again, such a wonderful person. Like, I'd like to do something on her. I mean, I always have ideas that I want to do. There's always people that I'm thinking of and whatnot. But that one, something like that, or another one of my friends is a director, like a feature film director, and he writes and directs all his own movies. His name's Harvey. So if there's a movie called Catch 44 he had Bruce Willis.
That's a really great movie.
Yeah. So he's a friend of mine, and we're really, really close. He's actually a producer on my movie, on my documentary.
That's awesome.
But he's got some really good stuff out. There's a movie called The Neighbor, with William Fichtner and Michael Rosenbaum's in it.
Okay.
And the last movie he did was called Into the Ashes, and it had Luke Grimes and Frank Grillo's in it. If you know Frank Grillo.
I do know who he is. That one does sound familiar. I would definitely have to check that one out again.
Yeah, like, that's a really good one. But I'm right now he and I are working on putting his next film together. So I'm just trying to help find some money for that, get that thing going. But yeah, there's always stuff in my mind I want to do. It's just getting one to pop and happen. I mean, documentaries are, it's a lot of work, just because they can take a long time, which is good. I mean, good in a way, because with my film, it took, Valerie, I mean, her condition declined because it was years that I shot it, but in the film, it's good in the film because you with her through this whole journey she's going through. So it's good, and it shows like a day in her life, like basically now how her life is and whatnot, and one part of the second half. But yeah, I mean, I'm always up to I love documentaries. There's so many good ones, and now's a good time for documentaries. So
yeah, and I watched a lot of them. I'm not usually one to watch documentaries, but I love watching ones about movies and some actors, about like some stuff that are on the Real channel.
Oh yeah.
And I just find it very interesting to watch these and see what these are all about. But I actually tried to make myself a fan-made documentary after Bill Paxton died, and it just didn't work out because I had no idea what I was doing.
Hey, I didn't have any idea what I was doing either. I literally, like I said, I was thrown into it, and I just started shooting because in my mind, I just thought, I just need to get footage. Let me get as much footage as I can, and then I'll figure out how to put it together. So that was me shooting things and getting interviews. But yeah, I feel that if you have an idea, you should always, you know, it's always good to at least, just start, see what happens. You never know. I
That's
didn't mean to
really great
interrupt.
advice. That's really
Yeah,
great advice. Like I do all this stuff on YouTube, but I never actually made myself a movie, and I would like to someday. There's so many things I want to do, and I hope to accomplish those goals sometime soon.
yeah. Start, do a short film, and you can, it doesn't have to be anything long. A short can be, 5-minute movie. Just figure out something that you're passionate about and something you want to tell the story about. And I always think a little, it's not a cheat, but I say for inspiration, if there's another documentary that, that kind of is like what you want to do or can give you that inspiration, use
Right.
that, follow that framework. And that'll that way you kind of have a blueprint of like, oh, okay, I can shoot this and I need to get some interviews to answer this. And it'll kind of give you like I said, like a blueprint of how to kind of do your own little documentary.
That's great to have. Thank you so much for giving that advice to me.
Oh, you're welcome. Of course.
And I had a really great time talking with you today, and I look forward to seeing your documentary on Valerie, and I hope she's doing well as too. I sending her lots of love and prayers.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll mention if anybody wants to follow Valerie, or I also have a GoFundMe for her to help pay for her medical expenses.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to have a look at that, they can either go to GoFundMe and look at Valerie Perrine, or we also have a website for the movie. I believe it's valeriemovie.com. It's bad that I don't quite remember because I don't go to it very often. But
I can try to find it, or you can send me the link if you want.
yeah, I think, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, it's valeriemovie.com.
Right.
And there's a link to that can take you to the GoFundMe, or if anybody wants to follow Valerie, she's on Instagram. I think it's, what is it? I think it's just Valerie Perrine. See, I'm so bad at this. But yeah, on Instagram, that's great. There's a lot of content on there. Stuff is always being put up. Or Twitter. She's newer to Twitter. She only has like 450 followers.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to like blow that up. But in Facebook, she's on there in a couple of spots too. There's a Valerie Perrine and Valerie Perrine 2. Those are both her
That's how
because,
we got in touch, and then it was from my message that she started to follow me everywhere, and I felt real honored to have her be able to
oh
see
yeah.
me post all the time.
Oh yeah. So yeah, what else she's on. Yeah. No, it's all her stuff is fun. It's all, it'll all be like, old pictures of things on, it could be things from set, or it could be, you know, things from her personal archives or whatever. Like, yeah, she has fun little things for anybody that's like a Superman fan or a Valerie fan. Like, she's fun to kind of follow.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing all her posts, and I enjoy communicating with her.
Yeah, no, she's great. I mean, the Parkinson's is, it slows her down. But one of the big things about the documentary that I wanted to show is her amazing spirit. Like, that's part of, there was nobody ever like Valerie. That's why she was such an amazing, I mean, she had all this talent, but also at that time, she would say whatever was on her mind. She was just something very special. And even though, with the Parkinson's, like, that's taken certain things away from her, she still has that spirit inside of her. It's not like, she hasn't given up, and she never complains about it. or anything like that. You know, she's got a, you know, there's just a positive light, you know, that she has inside.
She's truly wonderful, and I can't imagine what Parkinson's is like for her, but I'm really grateful that she's been doing really well.
Yeah, well, we're trying to keep her, you know, keep her happy, and you know, make sure that you know, take one day at a time. And you know, I get her a lot of cupcakes. You know, it's the little things, you know, like you know, like you were saying earlier, like, I mean, that was one thing when you were a kid, like, to know you could come home and watch these inspirations. You know, I think that anything that's a little victories add up to big victories. So yeah, like, again, like, I'll, you know, she likes a good cupcake, so I usually go get her some
Okay, so
cupcakes.
good.
Yeah, just little things like that, you know, because you know, again, if you're stuck, you know, she's in bed, you know, she's stuck in bed. So anything to break it up and just you know, just have a little bit more fun, you know, why not?
Well, thank you again, Stacey, for the time to talk with me. I'm pretty glad that we got to get this going and how Valerie introduced us, and
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the documentary when it comes out.
yeah. Well, now we're all connected on social media, so you'll see stuff. Actually, it's in some film festivals coming up. So anybody that wants to watch through those, and they can follow me, Stacey Souther, and that'll have like updates and stuff. But because everything's virtual, you can, I think, you'll be able to, you can watch it through the film festivals too. There's
I'll have
like
to
three.
try that.
AmDoc, uh, AmDoc is this month. I also got into Edmonton. I think that's in October, and St. Louis Film Festival, which is a big one. I believe that's in November. But yeah, so any of those, like, again, if anybody follows me or follows Valerie, I'll put things up, and then you can, you know, people can watch it through the, you know, see it before it's, you know, before next year.
Alrighty, I would definitely check it out, and I'll keep watching your social media and go from there.
All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's great talking to you, and I hope we can talk again sometime soon.
Yeah, and we got to talk because I got to get you David Arquette.
Yeah, I'll send you an email with the interview link once it's uploaded later today.
All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.